I actually have one at home.
I'll get you one for Christmas.
Okay, great. Good evening, everybody. This is the Town Council regular meeting for Wednesday, November 19th, 2025. We will go to agenda item number 1, which is the Pledge of Allegiance. And we have Girl Scout Troop 50377 to lead the Pledge of Allegiance. So, girls, if you'd like to come on up, you could stand here. And, well, I guess we could use those flags. So if you want to look over there, everybody please rise for the pledge. And whoever wants to lead it, start off, go right ahead. And you can look at this one. Ready? And go. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So would someone like to ask them their names and what they do?
Would you guys introduce yourselves to us?
And say it loud.
Yeah.
When you
Let's start down here. Sorry.
I'm Quinn.
Hi, Quinn.
I'm Piper and Stevenson. I'm Zoe. Kayla. Rory. Elizabeth. Luna. Lily. Olivia.
Hi, Jen.
Thank you.
Nice
Thank
job.
you. You guys are so good. Excited at such verb. Great.
Thank you for starting our meeting. It's a real privilege to have you all here, and thank you for being a part of your troop. It's a really lovely thing to be part of the community. Thank you so much, and thank you to the parents that are here this evening. This is a real special for us.
Want to take a picture with them in front of us? Yeah.
Oh, of course. No, come on in.
Let's stand. Sorry.
Yeah. Don't tell us what to do.
Should we stand behind them?
Yeah. Thank you.
So actually, you know, I didn't realize we can do the recognition of the newly sworn members. So if we want, do we have a book? Or?
Tucker's going to do it. So I think we have something. She's got a oath that she found. It's not official.
Perfect. So let's do that now. Okay. So next up, we're going to do yes.
I just want to add something to the agenda.
Okay, let's just hold off on that for a moment. So as everyone knows, we had an election. We have some fantastic new members and some returning members from last session. So we thought it would be appropriate to have a recognitional swearing or recognition of our newly sworn in members. They've already been sworn. So as a legal mechanism, they are already sworn. They already have their full awesome authority as town council members, but I thought it would be a really nice and fitting, and it's well deserved to have essentially what I would categorize as a ceremonial type of swearing in and a photo by the flag. So for all time's sake, and if you have your family members and friends here, I thought that would be nice. So with that said, perhaps we can call Tucker Murphy up. She's going to help us out here, and she's the Justice of the Peace. It's a big deal, actually.
Available for weddings at a cost.
I think we'll do is just one by one. Lena, you want to start? Come on over. And as Mike said, since we've already done the official part, this is just going to be more of a ceremonial. So, but you will still raise your right hand. I, Lena Lee, pledge to act with honesty, transparency, and dedication, to listen respectfully, and to uphold the trust placed in me, by the people of New Canaan.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're on squad here. Everyone's quarantine. I, Heather Russell, pledge to act with honesty and transparency, dedication, and to listen respectfully, and to uphold the trust placed in me, by the people of New Canaan.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I, Mike Rogers,
I, Mike Rogers,
pledge to act with honesty,
pledge to act with honesty,
transparency,
transparency,
and dedication,
and dedication,
to listen respectfully
to listen respectfully
and to uphold the trust placed in me
and to uphold the trust placed in me
by the people of New Canaan.
by the people of New Canaan.
Great. Want to do the,
Let's do a group right now. Why don't we all get in front of the dais here?
unless you want to do the recording numbers. Oh, it's okay.
All right, let's do it.
Anybody have a phone they want me to?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so how do you want to?
Yeah, you stand in front.
Everybody hold it.
I want you guys to do yours.
Let's go left to right.
One over here. All right, I'll do one here. 2, 3. Do another phone. There. Here's. Okay. Great.
All right.
Ryan, your direction.
Get one. Whose phone is it?
It's mine.
Yeah, why did it narrow down? Hold on, Penny, go back. Oh, yeah, do you guys want to take a picture with your family? Yeah. And let's take a picture with you.
I got my.
Yeah.
Colors. It's okay. It's okay.
Thank you.
One more.
I mean, no.
Senator Russell.
I don't. Like, I don't have any.
President Russell.
Years, but I mean,
Congratulations.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's just like. Walks my time.
That to me, especially when
Beautiful.
Did you get level for questions? Got it? Yeah. Okay. I would do that too. Draw the line. Oh, you know what? I have We don't have Tom here making corrections. Oh, you have some corrections? We're good?
Very similar.
I do. Okay. Yay. And the other one. He's gonna keep tabs.
Hold on.
Lena, I have it on my phone. You can talk to IT to help you because it's a different login. But so call Sal in IT and he can help you add it to your phone if you want it on your, like I have it on my phone.
Yep, we'll do the call to order. We do, Jen, if we do the
Yes.
call. All right. Okay, back on the record. We will now go to calling the meeting to order and do roll call.
Lena Lee.
Here.
Mike Mora.
Here.
Maria Naughton.
Here.
Kimberly Norton.
Here.
Hillary Ormond.
Here.
Michael Rogers.
Here.
Heather Russell. Eric Tunham.
Here.
Penny Young.
Here.
Jennifer Zonas.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. I have an amendment to the agenda. I'll make the motion in a minute. So when we designated the date for the report by the Charter Revision Commission, at our last meeting or special meeting, when we appointed the commission, we unfortunately had an error in the calendar where we said returnable on May 3rd, which is a Sunday. So we're now, just for legal reasons, we need to amend the resolution to include the correct date of May 4th. So we all have in our hands the proposed amendment to have the draft report due date moved from Sunday, May 3rd to Monday, May 4th. So that's what we're doing. So I'm about to make the motion. We'll get a second. I mean, always entertain discussion, but I'm going to make the full motion. So let me make it discussion and we'll vote. Okay. So here's the, number one, let's make a motion to amend the agenda. So I'm making a motion. Penny seconds, discussion, all in favor. Motion passes unanimously. So the agenda is now amended to include this amendment. Do we have another proposed agenda?
Yes, I wanted
amendment?
to add the Charter Review Commission budget discussion and approval.
I don't know if we're really prepared to have
Yeah.
that tonight.
I think the commission itself requests the funding.
Yeah.
No. There was a letter from the attorney back in 2015 that stipulates that once the town council approves it, should the Board of Finance or the Board of Selectmen reduce it, it is up to the town council to raise it to the original amount requested. I'm happy to pass that opinion from the attorney around and raise it back to the original amount. If we don't vote on it, then we are leaving the commission basically. You wanna pass that
Sure.
around?
Well, why don't we deal with first the motion
Yeah.
to amend the agenda to add that?
So you want, just so I'm clear what your motion, what is your motion? Just so I understand what it is.
The motion is to add the Charter Review Commission budget discussion and approval.
Okay. I mean, look, if someone wants to make a motion, certainly can do that. If someone wants a second, they can. I mean, I'm just not prepared. I'm not knowledgeable as I'm sitting here right now to engage in that discussion. And the timing of it, I don't know if there's anything pressing, and I would imagine there really would need to originate from the Charter Review Commission and having some type of a dialogue between Charter Review and this body.
Kathleen Corbett reviewed it and she agreed with it,
No,
that
but-
everything's included.
Kathleen, I've spoken to Kathleen and she has said it's not necessary right now and that they would come forward with a request.
So hold on one second. And Deanna, we always want your input. So let me just say, Deanna's requesting to speak. Go right ahead. Thank you. We appreciate you speaking.
I just want to say, and I think a few of you are online. I know I saw Penny and I think Kim and maybe Christina. There was absolutely no discussion of the budget in the first meeting. So, we have a legal budget that was established, but I think I would agree with you, Mike. The commission itself has had no discussion of their needs I'm sure there will be needs, but they just had their special meeting to constitute the committee and the officers. So there's been no committee discussion of budget or anything like that. So, I would encourage you to wait until after at least their first regular meeting. And I would encourage there to be some communication with more than just one member of the town council about what that budget is.
So if I may,
Do we have a second on this
Sure,
motion?
you can.
Sorry.
Why don't we
Before
do
we
it this
discuss.
way?
I'll
Well,
second it.
okay, so the motion has been made. It's been seconded by Kim.
Okay.
Now we can have our discussion. So Christina, please.
Okay, in addition to what Deanna said, the Charter Review Commission has to retain a secretary transcriptionist and post ads in the newspaper for the upcoming public session. So those things require funds, and unless the Board of Selectmen and the first selectman are agreeing to open their pocketbooks to pay for whatever expenses are coming up until there's a formal submission, I'm fine with it, but otherwise I don't want to put the commission in a precarious position of wanting to do something and they don't have the funds to do it. And Kathleen said that that's part of the problem that happened the last time around with the commission convened in 2015.
Okay, Chair recognizes Tucker Murphy.
Thank you. We've had a lot of internal conversations. This has been coming up for some time about this. Much of the budget will be spent this year. So that's going to have to come out of contingency, right? Because it's in this fiscal year happening now. We're going to start getting legal bills for, Nick Bamonte has already appeared at several of the meetings. So that will happen in this fiscal year. So we can't budget. We can only budget for the next fiscal year for starters. Secondly, we have, the good news is we were able to secure the same secretary and transcriptionist from the last time. She's agreed to do it. She's fabulous. Everybody had a really great experience with her. She also happens to work with inland wetlands and planning and zoning. So we know her rate. So we've figured that one out in terms of just trying to get some numbers, some idea of what the numbers would be. I'm not sure if you're aware, but in Fairfield, they had their charter revision. They just had a question before the electorate regarding advertisements. And one of them was that you don't have to advertise in a newspaper. You can put it on websites and things like that. I spoke with Nick Bamonte about that today, and he said that much of the postings for the charter revision would qualify for non-paid advertising. There will be expenses, right? When we have to print the entire document, when we do have to put a full page in, when the draft report comes out, things like that. But the ongoing expenses that we incurred last time, apparently, according to Nick, per state statute, we don't have to post and spend the amount of money that we spent last time, is what he told me today. So we are working, my end of this is that we are working closely to try to pull together some real numbers, because we just didn't know at the outset of what their time frame was going to be and that kind of thing. So
Thank you.
and we're setting up a separate code in Munis to put everything into that, so that when in 10 years further down the road, we will have these.
So this doesn't answer my question. I want a commitment that the Charter Review Commission, whether it comes out of contingency or the next budget year, will have the funds available. But we need to know, or legally it's stipulated, that if the amount is reduced from what is needed, that we have the right to reinstitute the number that we're requesting. So I just want to get in front of it rather than, we can spend less, but at least we should put a floor as to a number that the Charter Review Committee may be encountering with. Now, I asked your office to provide us with the expenses that had historically,
that we had.
which was just the legal expenses.
No, and the printing, the $7,000 for the printing. We provided you everything that we had. Remember, when the transition went over to the new Munis account, it wasn't broken down. So we only had the one number. Pam's given you the numbers
Okay.
that she had.
So I'll leave it to the chair to decide if you want to create an approval. We can leave it till next month, but the Charter Review Commission will incur expenses immediately.
Janet.
I don't know if it's appropriate for us to opine on a budget, because I thought that's their authority to
If you
form their own, we don't know their expenses. And I just don't know if it starts from us, or if, or it starts from them asking, the committee is asking for an appropriation. And not knowing that, I just don't think it's appropriate for us.
I agree with you.
Yeah, to apply on a budget.
If you read the legal opinion, it states it's that very same issue.
Chairman Mora. No,
Thank you.
sorry.
Thanks.
I seem to recall, and I don't have my notes with me, but that 2 meetings back, Nick Bamonte gave us a rough, like it was approximately $28K for legal, 1,200 for post, like how, there was a small single K figure for publications. So, if that's like the loose outline for where we start, it seems like having time from now till the next meeting to go like look at that and then wait for input from Tucker with more concrete figures seems like a good idea. But I do think if we look back two meetings ago, there were some rough numbers thrown out. So we'd have a starting point.
Hillary.
I don't disagree with that. I still think that the appropriate process would be for the Charter Commission to come to us to propose something. Yes, we are the budget authority, so we would then either accept their request or not, but I don't know that it's up to us sua sponte to do it. And I don't believe that this legal opinion says that. This legal opinion says that if the Board of Finance reduces what we have approved for the Charter Review Commission, we can restore it to its original amount. But that doesn't say anything about what the genesis of the original amount, who it comes from. And I think it's appropriate for the Charter Review Commission, who has this project now, to come to us and let us know what they need. I just think that that's a cleaner process than us guessing to some extent.
Anybody else want to talk? Maria?
So if it's an appropriation now, they would basically bring expenses they have, but for the next budget,
No,
like we're not voting, we can't vote on their budget, I thought, because we're done with this budget cycle.
but we always handle special appropriations. I mean, there are people who come to the Board of Finance, the Board of Ed did it with some COVID expenses. The Board of Ed did it, I think, once or
Right, that's
twice.
what I mean. It's
Sorry, can I-
outside of,
May I finish? Yes, it's an appropriation to come out of contingency, just like the COLA increases that we did came out of contingency, but it still has to follow a process. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, we can do special appropriations. We just shouldn't do them all the time. It shouldn't come out of, we shouldn't be handling a lot of this stuff on contingency. As far as I know, they haven't incurred any expenses
well,
yet.
that's what I was just trying to clarify. So at this point, it's just an appropriation from contingency. Once we vote on next year's budget, there'll be an actual amount going forward.
This is a little, the timing of this committee is a little awkward with budget process. You're voting on it. You voted to form a committee after the budget has been approved. So anything that is expended between now and the end of the fiscal year, June 30th, will have to come out of
That's
contingency.
what I was, yeah.
And then, so we already talked to Nick and they gave us an estimate, as Tucker mentioned, that $30,000 for the legal expenses. We're going to have to draw some of that from contingency this year because we don't have a budget for that. So it will come out of contingency, and then whatever is left would be allocated to next year's budget.
That's exactly what I was trying to say.
So yeah, but I would agree with Hillary's comment. You really do need to, I mean, every budget starts with the department or the committee. I mean, all the committees that we have, Utilities Commission, the Conservation Commission, they develop their own budget and then they bring it in a normal budget process to me, then to the Board of Selectmen, then to the Board of Finance, and then to the Town Council. There's a very prescriptive process for this. And, maybe this doesn't need to, I haven't read the legal opinion. I don't know about, this particular committee and the specificity around this, but I would caution creating a budget without having the committee that's involved in doing the work, giving you the details of what they need.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Eric.
are the members of the newly constituted Charter Revision Commission aware of these estimates and what was spent last time?
I have no knowledge to be able to comment on that.
Well, certainly Kathleen Corbett must have some idea since she was on the last commission. It would seem to me that they could look at this and we could provide this to them and they could see what was a reasonable budget estimate, and then they can come to us with a budget request. I agree. I think that process is cleaner and that's what we ought to be doing.
Thank you.
But giving them some information would be helpful.
Anyone else want to opine here? Are we all on board?
Yes, it was emailed to Kathleen, and Kathleen and I had a conversation. She had received it. She thought it was thorough and she didn't have a problem with it, but she can speak for herself. And maybe we just ask her to come at the next meeting, but at least everybody has the proposed budget and the explanation as to where the numbers were derived from and the legal opinion.
Okay, I think we're have discussed this thoroughly. It's the issue raised is absolutely vital and critical, and it's super important. It sounds like on the process side, let's just stick to, I think, what the traditional process would be for presentation of a budget from this newly constituted commission. And we should get moving on that in dialogue with the charter revision ASAP. So do you want to continue with the motion? You want to withdraw it? We can take a vote. It's up to, it's your motion. So you tell me, you want to withdraw it or you want us to vote on it?
No, what I would like to do is to then ask the commission chair and whoever else you may want to come in and speak next time. And if you would just pass that documentation on to the rest of the table so everybody has.
Oh, I did.
Yes.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Good.
All right. So then, yeah, I got it. Thank you. So are you going to withdraw the motion or do you want us to vote on it?
Whatever you feel it's appropriate.
Well, it's your motion. So you'd have to say, I want to vote or I'm going to withdraw. It's just, that's the procedure. So I just need to know.
Okay, I'll withdraw for now.
Okay, so noted, the motion has been withdrawn. Okay, moving on to, I guess what will be our new agenda item number 2, which is the Charter Revision Commission resolution amendment. So moving on to that new number 2, this is a discussion and approval of an amendment to the Charter Revision Commission resolution as approved by the Town Council on November 12th, 2025, to correct the draft report due date from Sunday, May 3, 2026 to Monday, May 4, 2026 as follows. Be it further resolved that the 2025 Town of New Canaan Charter Revision Commission shall have about 6 months to complete its work and file its report with the town clerk no later than May 4, 2026. So I am going to make the motion to amend the resolution as I've just laid it out. So can I get a second? Eric seconds it. We're going to open up for discussion. So do we need to have further discussion? Bottom line is we made a mistake on the calendar. We need to move the date from May 3, 2026 to May 4, 2026. Is everybody on board with that? Okay, so moving to a vote. All in favor? The motion passes unanimously. All right. Okay, let's move on to agenda item number 3, which is the minutes. Approval of the minutes for the regular meeting held on October 15, 2025, the organizational meeting of November 12, 2025, and the special meeting held on November 12, 2025. Can I get a motion for the approval? Janet makes the motion. Anyone want a second?
I'll second.
Hillary seconds. Discussion. Does anyone have any, Eric?
Yeah, I'm looking at the minutes from the meeting of October 15. And right after call to order and roll call, we have amend agenda, which is fine. And below that, it says, Mr. Morrow made a second motion, seconded by Ms. Norton, to authorize the cost of living increase for the position of town clerk and town treasurer. That motion was approved unanimously. I don't believe that's correct, because later, when we're discussing this, it says that motion was approved by a vote of 11 in favor and 1 opposed.
That's
So
my
don't
recollection.
those two contradict each other, or am I missing something?
That was the.
Well, then, okay, well, then the first one needs to say, Mr. Morrow made a second motion to amend the agenda to consider authorizing a cost of living increase for the position. Make it, it's not clear that what is written there is amending the agenda.
That's definitely a valid point. So we'll amend the minutes accordingly to show that it should say amend the agenda. All right. Any other edits to these 3 documents, the minutes for these 3 dates? Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, cost of living increase. It says 2.75 times 2 years is 5.5. That makes logical sense, but when the other COLA increase was approved for the first selectman, that number was recorded as 5.75. So I don't know where the mistake is, but since we already approved the other minutes, I would think we have to decide how to handle that percentage. Does everyone understand what I'm saying? It's September 15th, the last minutes had this exact number, 2.75 times 2 equals a 5.75% raise. That was for the first selectman's COLA. So now we're on to the town clerk's COLA, and it's a different number.
Is it, sorry,
Go, please, Hillary.
Is
Thank
it
you.
because the town clerk's salary doesn't reset until January?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a compounded interest rate, so I don't know.
Yeah, the number 5.50 is not correct. I'm not entirely sure that the number 5.75 is correct. There was some disagreement as to the actual mathematical calculation that results in the final number. And I believe that was going to be resolved by Tucker's office and corrected to whatever the correct math was. It's a math issue. It's not a legal issue.
Sorry. No, I appreciate that. I actually love Robert's rules. It makes meetings run.
I know.
No, I think you're doing, I
Nice,
appreciate
tighten
it.
things up.
I think it's a great idea. So there was a number, and we can go back to the video, because the video has the exact number that was voted on. I'm thinking it's 5.0557, not 5.75. Because if you do, but we'll go back to the video. So maybe next, I think we need to go back to the video, edit based on the video, because there was a very specific number.
Excellent, totally. So what we should do is, and I'll definitely let you speak. What we could do is, so this was in the October 15, 2025 minutes, so like we could table that, but we can vote if there's nothing on the other 2 dates. Kim, go.
So with the September 15th number of 5.75, is that going to be amended as well, or because they're supposed to be the same number? So, I mean, I'm going back to minutes that were already approved.
Yeah, we have to look at what the minutes say. We have to, whatever we voted on has to be reflected in the minutes.
Even if it's wrong.
And if
Whatever we
there's some
voted on.
adjustment,
Yeah.
That's a different story,
Right.
but we have to vote on what the minutes have to reflect precisely what was voted on, even if there's some error in whatever the vote was, and that can be addressed. I get your point. You're saying there's a discrepancy. Well, a call is a call. It should be the same number. That's it. And if it's not the same number, then that's something that needs to be addressed. The minutes are reflecting only what the record reflects was voted on, only. So you're right. So that's why we're going to push off this October 15th, 2025 minutes. We will go to the videotape, and then we'll confirm what it said. The minutes will reflect what was stated at and voted on at the meeting. And then if there is that discrepancy, then that's something that has to be taken up.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Can I just explain the math?
Go ahead, Mr. Mass.
If it depends on exactly what the raise is, and I think we go back to the COLAs. I think what we were trying to do for the first selectman was match the COLA increases for all the other town employees. So if that is 2.75% on January 1 for the first year, then 100 becomes 102.75. If it's another 2.75 raise on that then current raise of 102.75, I don't know, I can't do the numbers right in my head right now, but that results in an increase over 2 years of more than 5.5.
Right.
But we got to find out exactly what the math is for what was done for all the other town employees, match that for what we did with the first selectman, and then correct this to reflect that.
Right. So it's a compounded interest rate, and that's what we're trying to reflect in the number.
Right.
Okay, got it.
That was my understanding.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. That was illuminating. All right. With that said, yes.
Are we supposed to say, were we supposed to say chairman? What are we supposed to say?
You could just say, to move it along, just say, I asked to be
Everyone wants to get your
recognized.
attention.
Yeah, no, just say, you could say, I asked to be recognized, or Mr. Chair, I asked to be recognized.
So I have another slight change where it says farewell to Mr. Butterworth, Ms. Patino, and Mr. Kaufman. I'd like to add Ms. Ormond to that because there were 3 people seeking re-election, Ms. Young, Ms. Norton, and Ms. Ormond, and that just needs to be added to the farewell. October 15th at the very bottom, right before adjournment, where it says farewell to. There's 2 people seeking re-election, but there was 3. So I just want to add Ms. Ormond to that list. Yeah, but I did too. I declined as well. I don't know.
Well, you want an edit, so just, what is your formulation?
Is seeking another, well, he acknowledged the dedication of Ms. Young, who was seeking another term, along with Ms. Norton and Ms. Ormond, because I didn't take the farewell either. So.
Perfect. All right.
And Ms. Ormond.
And Ms. Norman. So again, all right, let's get to the vote. We got to get moving here. So as far as this motion goes, we will table the October 15th, 2025 minutes, subject to verification of what the record reflects at the October 15th meeting. We will now vote on if are there any edits to the organizational meeting or the special meeting? No? Great. All right, so the motion then I'll amend the motion. Right, we'll amend the motion to just the organizational meeting of November 12th, 2025, and the special meeting held on November 12th, 2025. So all in favor?
I'm sorry, I have a slight change. I
Yes.
wasn't able to get your attention
Okay.
because you did it so quickly. On the special meeting, town council, I'd also like to add a tribute that was given to Mr. Lisher. That I also say Miss Norton also gave a tribute to Mr. Lisher, because it says Miss Young paid tribute to the late Mr. Lisher. Then the next sentence is Mr. Tunham said he was a humble servant, and you could just say Miss Norton also added to the tribute. Just a simple acknowledgement. It was in the newspaper. So just want to keep it consistent with public record. Thank you.
Yes, good point. Okay, so we'll make that edit to the minutes. Okay, so we'll now move forward with the vote for the organizational meeting and the special meeting. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, we'll move to agenda item number 4, which is public comments. Members of the public are welcome to speak to the town council on agenda topics scheduled for review and or vote. Speakers are requested to provide their name and street address, and comments will be limited to 2 to 3 minutes, subject to the total number of speakers. Doesn't look like we have anybody here because nobody loves us. Anybody out there? All right, next up, agenda item number 5, New Canaan Nature Center, the general update on proposed projects and activities of the New Canaan Nature Center. 10 minutes. Bill Flynn, floor is yours.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Oh, my screen shared here for a second. All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Bill Flynn. I'm the Executive Director of the New Canaan Nature Center. I have been for 8 years now. I've been at the Nature Center for 15 years. My wife and son, we all live on the property there. So we are very engrossed into the Nature Center, and I'm happy to be here. So we started this about 3 years ago. I come and give a general update off budget cycle. So we're not trying to figure out all of this information while you're in a 3-hour budget meeting, so that in a few months from now, you'll remember this conversation, hopefully, and be like, yes, Bill told us or warned us about these budget items. So I will go through, I give a general update and sort of talk about the things that were accomplished with town and the Nature Center, and then cue you up for what potentially coming ahead. For those of you I don't know or haven't seen, welcome and thanks for having me. You all at least were given the memo that I wrote. I hope everything I'm going to say is in there. It's in more detail than I'm going to say tonight, so please refer back to that. Yeah, thank you. I always start here with our governing documents of where our private-public partnership started. Just to remind everyone, the Nature Center property was donated by Susan Dwight Bliss in 1959, and she restricted it in her deed to be for purposes of a nature center, arboretum, bird sanctuary, passive recreation-related purposes, or a museum site. And that deed was restricted and accepted by town with that gift of the 40 acres. Her house went to First Presbyterian Church, so that was her estate house, and the rest she donated to the town. Within that first year, the town got together with 6 private citizens. They founded the New Canaan Nature Center Association Incorporated. That is what I'm the executive director of. And we had a 1-page agreement in 1960 that outlined that agreement. It was updated in 1970 to 2.5 pages. And that's what we've been working on since then. I think, at least in my time there, very well. We have a wonderful nature center that is a very unique park, and we accomplished that together. So thank you all. Just a little bit of program data that we're asked for is we have a very large preschool. It's our largest program, also our most lucrative program. 141 students includes our Little Explorers program, which is like our Mommy and Me program. 86% of New Canaan residents. Summer camp, a lot of campers, 711 last year. mostly New Canaan, about 90%. And then our environmental education, which is our biggest outreach programs. That's our field trips where we go to schools. We go as far as New York Public Libraries. We'll go basically whoever calls us and wants us to come by. We can take our show on the road. We'd love to have more field trips, but those budgets are much harder. With schools, with a $200 program, they have to come up with an $800 bus ride. So we do a lot of those travels to them. We'd love more to us, but we work with them. These are some nice pictures. That tortoise there is Romeo. He's the most charming tortoise you've ever met. Come by the visitor center. He like chirps at you and follows you around and crawls on your foot. It's crazy. Those turtles up in the upper left were from the pond dredge that I'll show pictures of. That was one of the big accomplishments. The pond dredgers kept putting them in the farther pond, and then in the morning they would come back and they would move back in. So they kept moving them back, and eventually when it filled up, they moved back. So bounced back pretty quickly. By the numbers, we were at about just over 2.3 million in revenue last year. You can see preschools at about 50%. As far as our program fees, which is preschool, summer camp, and environmental education, we're about 70% on any given year, and about 30% fundraising. That goes up and down a little bit, but we're about a 70-30 split. The fundraising will include our annual appeal, which you'll all be getting letters, don't worry, very shortly. We send it out to all residents of New Canaan. And our luncheon is our biggest fundraiser, which makes up the bulk of that 12% of that bucket. Our expenses mirror pretty much the same. You're going to see a big administration fee. That's my salary. It's a CFO's salary. Instead of figuring out all of our time we spend on preschool and divvying it up, we put it into our administration bucket. That's why it's skewed a little bit. That's also our grounds and facilities director. That's our registrar. That's the people that hit all the programs. So if you notice 2.25, we typically make a little bit more than we spend. What we do with that is at the end of the year, we figure out all the projects that we want to do to improve the grounds, and we approve those then. Anything else we've been putting into a capital improvement budget to help fund some of these things I'm going to be talking about in a minute. So we have been proactive about that, which is why we have money to build our new greenhouse, but I'll get there in just a second. As far as last year, the Kiwanis Pond dredge was a big one. That is still ongoing. The bulk of it is done. They dug out all the silt, which was really great. Also, as part of that project, in our wetlands, we had a huge field of Phragmites, and I asked, and we got wetland approval to dig that out while they were there because their boom was big enough to reach over while they're at the pond. Phragmite is a big, tall, invasive grass that I care about. And as you drive around, it's everywhere, but we choose not to use chemicals to battle our invasives. And so the only way to do it is to dig it out. So we were really excited to get that done during the project. There's still some plantings to be done, and they just spread the silt up on our top field, which is right next to First Presbyterian parking lot. And that will be seeded with a native meadow mix, and that should be lovely starting next spring. The rock house, which is that picture, that little building there, that is all ready for our rock collection to go back into. Susan Dwight Bliss had her own rock. She was a geology lover, also nature lover. And she had her private collection. Skip Hobbs, who's our resident geologist, if you don't know Skip. And he's going to go in. He's already cataloged it all. We're going to put it back in. We're also going to put a display down the visitor center. So we are going to honor the original use of that building and get our rock collection back in there. Now the improvements have been done. The other two things that were done were education building and herb cottage assessments. Those were in last year's budget. The education building, which will be done this year, was about the ADA ramp, which has not been put in yet, but also for our project that we want to build more classrooms or divvy up the main floor into more classrooms. There is a building code bathroom issue that I brought up last year. And so they did the assessment on the building. We have a really good plan that we like, but there will be another request in the spring to actually do that project. And I'll go into more details in a minute. So the upcoming projects, the ADA ramp I was talking about for the education building, the herb cottage, which is where our new greenhouse is going to go next to. We wanted to make sure before we wanted to put our new greenhouse next to it, that building was in working order. So we really wanted just to see if the bare bones were solid, which they are. There are some improvements. It's about $100,000 all in with everything that they found. The Rothbards did that assessment. The the part that is really important in that is about 30,000. That's rotten wood and painting. So that's what I'm working with Tiger to put into next year's public works budget, is just to get the bare bones done so that when we put a greenhouse in, hopefully, which will be an approval for you all coming soon, that the building next to it will serve exactly what it was serving in the early 1900s, which was the herb cottage for the greenhouses. So we're just 100 years renovation project that we're doing. And then also I will update on our 1982 greenhouse, which is the one by the parking lot, the big, nice looking one that all the glass is clouded and we don't really have a function for it. And we have our first plans of what to do with that. That's a picture of the pond dredge, by the way. I will stop real quick and just say that all of this, I'm throwing out a lot of names of buildings and things. It's always easier to come to the Nature Center. I love not sitting in my office and actually walking around. I will offer that up to everybody. I do it several times a week on tours and things, and it just makes a lot more sense if you're on the ground. So I highly encourage that. I'm there all the time. Please take me up on that, and I would love to show everyone around. Please. New greenhouse, that's a lot of words. I'm just going to show the picture in the next one. A lot of that's in your memo. So that is a picture of the herb cottage. That is the building that was there for the original 4 greenhouses on property. All 4 of those have been taken down. The last one came down, I want to say 2019-ish. That was the last antique greenhouse that was, I mean, it was just falling glass everywhere. So in that area where those tall grassy weeds are, that's where that greenhouse, that a picture of, and that's the brand that we want to put in, will go right next to that herb cottage. And so that's the exact location. The next steps we need is from the Department of Health, because if you remember, we had urban community gardens there. We had a lead issue that we found. So all the gardens got ripped out like overnight. There were 50 years worth of maintaining those. And unfortunately, they just had to be taken out due to the lead issue. And so we've been trying to figure out how do we repurpose that and honor what the original property was. And we've come up with this. There's a lot of details on our native seed propagation program. I just gave a update to the Conservation Commission. It was on November 13th, where I go into a lot of detail about that. Like if you're interested in that, come by and see me or watch the video of that. And I explain the ins and outs of that program that we want to do in a lot more detail. Basically, I want to harvest native seeds, store them, propagate them in the greenhouse, move them outside, and send them out into New Canaan. We are very excited to work. The Garden Club's very excited to work with us. The Beautification League that we're talking to, the Land Trust. Our idea is to make this a very public greenhouse and be sort of the hub of the native seed propagation and plant program. So we're very excited about this. We got a $200,000 grant about 4 months ago, which we were very excited to fund this. And the rest of the money we have in our coffers to complete that. So we are not asking town for participation, but we will invite you for other projects. So don't worry. Again, yeah, go ahead.
Can I ask you a question?
Please.
What was the source of the grant?
It was a private foundation.
Okay.
And they actually want to be, they're going to remain anonymous, but that was their.
Thanks.
Yep. Again, this is stuff that I would love to show you. This is our non-chemical invasive removal. We're very excited to make the Nature Center a case study for how to do this, because landscaping companies they can't offer this because they haven't researched it. So we're working with Larry Weiner Associates to try out all of these methods with varying degrees of success, but we're an education facility and we love the idea of developing these, and our impact beyond our 40 acres can be when a major company that Larry Weiner's all over the Northeast, so he can take these things they practice there and move them out. The plastic there, that's the easiest way to get rid of mugwort or bad stuff is just spray it with an herbicide. Then you start fresh. We don't want to do that. So that's the alternative, or one of the alternatives is you cover it, you cook everything underneath, kills all the plants, then we reuse the plastic, and then you plant your native seeds there. So it's just alternative methods. Again, I've got a lot of fun projects that we're doing. If this is interesting to you, I think a walk is the best way to see it. But if you walk at the Nature Center, you can see these things in action. You can see. Yeah,
That's
go.
the buckthorn baggies, the plastic.
Yeah, but one of the things when you cut, a lot of times if you want to kill one certain plant, you'll cut it and then just dab it with herbicide. At least it stays more local. This is an alternative that you wrap it, you zip tie it, and just leave it. Does the same thing, takes longer, and then we can reuse the bags. So
How long does it take?
we've had bags on there since last year, and we're just ready to move them. I don't know if it was necessary to leave them on that long, but you know, yeah, better safe than sorry. And so burning bush is one that we use that on, and yeah, it's worked pretty well. You can also blowtorch the stem, which one of our board members is very excited. He's like, we got to get a blowtorch and go and get those stems. The education building, all of these projects were part of a strategic plan that we assessed all of our needs. We wanted a greenhouse, so instead of renovating the one that's there, we came up with a plan to do the one I just proposed. The second one was shoring up our preschool and summer camp. Those are our biggest programs. They're our most lucrative programs. We want to make sure we have enough classroom space. So that was what our hope is for the education building. And our main floor of it, that's a picture of the education building in the front. That was the original visitor center, if you go back many, many, many years ago. And that's where the animals were, and that's where you'd go visit. The middle floor is just a big open space. The picture on the left, we have our little Explorers program. We want to divide that into 2 classrooms. That would be our 2s. That would be the right size for that. The picture on the right, see those blue partitions? We would like full walls. In order to do anything on that floor, the building is currently not in municipal building code due to the occupancy. And so we need to address that with this project. So the ask is that the town helps us with the municipal building code issue of the bathrooms, and then we would do the flooring, the lighting, the classrooms, and the numbers for that. The Rothbards have come up with this plan, but they don't have the figures yet. But by the time you're looking at them in the spring, I think he said something about March that he would have finalized numbers. So I can't give those to you now, but that's the request.
Right now it goes to about 2 o'clock, right? Correct?
The
program?
school?
Yeah.
Depending on the age groups, but yeah.
Do you have any plans to make them, like, we're short childcare in town? Any plans to make it full day?
Right. I get this question a lot. So there's definitely a difference of daycare is, I mean, kudos to people who run daycares. That's really your 7:30 to 5:30. And that is a tremendous undertaking. We have no plans to expand our programming to that. We are the first nature-based preschool in the country. We have a pretty renowned program that we've been working really hard. It really fits with the people that do sign up. Our rooms are full, and there's definitely a demand for what is being used now. But I've been asked this question a lot of times: is are we interested in doing that? And at this time, we are not.
Oh, Bill, question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Will the kids be allowed in the greenhouse for educational
Oh
programs?
yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. So again, we're all education. So it's not like this greenhouse in particular is not going to be like tomato planting, but being able to go out and show them where Joe Pye weed is and how to actually harvest those seeds and how to take them in the greenhouse and put them in the dirt. Yeah, we want to involve the preschool summer camp and also the community in this whole process. And I don't know if you drive north on like Owen Ridge towards Scotts Corner, a lot of those lawns now are converting all to native fields. And so we've been the pollinator pathway, and we've been sort of calling this issue out for several years, and actually seeing houses adopt it and transferring their green grass into native fields is really exciting to see. Also that we're putting on these talks and people are like, oh, let me try that out. So it's exciting for us.
May I ask
Sure. Thank you.
quick question? So this is such a great presentation. I love spending time at the Nature Center, but I'm trying to follow. So I'm very clear on the Ed Center.
Yeah.
And then the 1982 building. And so that was wonderful. You've got the grant, the money.
But so the 1982 is the old greenhouse. We don't want to renovate.
Okay,
We just
so
want to do a new greenhouse up top.
But this is where I lost you, which is you were explaining that you had a grant and then you were going to have funds And that's for a new building that will be built. Is that where there was a old broken down greenhouse that was taken out a year or so ago? Is that where that's going to be?
Yeah, so this is up top, where the herb cottage is.
Right.
The new greenhouse will go right next to it and it'll look very similar to that.
Okay.
The big greenhouse by the parking lot, I haven't gotten there yet. But
Okay.
I know I've probably blabbed too long already. I tend to do that. So if that's what you're.
It is, because
just
that
for
one,
continuity,
that may involve town fund. So,
Oh,
yeah.
I hope so.
so
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah, to
offering.
lead into
That's
that,
so nice
thanks.
of you. Are there any questions on the education building project? It's probably going to be phased in a couple of years because in order to do that, a lot of plumbing and going through has to be done. And we really don't have a big window where we can just shut down this building because four classrooms live in there, and shutting that down for an extended period of time would be very bad for our preschool. So we're working with Bill Osman and Tiger of how do we stage that so we don't have to shut down. Summer is great for us because summer camp can move. Preschool can't. This is the 1982 greenhouse. This is the one that's currently right by the parking lot. I'm going to show you some pictures. This is a first rendering from an architect. We have not formed our capital campaign committee. We have not done a feasibility study. So just, we're not asking for anything yet. It could be a couple of years before we do. So don't get too excited or anything, but they're pretty drawings. So the last thing in our strategic plan that would help, certainly for our needs, is some sort of large open space. Being able to divide it into a couple different classrooms so that when we have field trips, we don't really have a home for field trips, and our meeting space is used all the time. I think it's a similar problem at the library. Tonight scouts were in there. I actually have a list of the groups that have been in there the last 2 weeks, and there's 14 of them. So it's almost every night that we've been opening our doors for this. So this would serve every program that we have. It's pretty, it's open. It would be a beautiful building. But again, this is a first rendition. But lots of open space that can serve everything we do. We could host fundraisers in here. I told them maybe take out the deer antlers for the Nature Center presentation, but they duly noted from them. But as you can see, the different uses we're excited about. We're calling it our multi-use space. So again, this is a first rendition. This is what the Nature Center would like. This would serve every other need as long as we build our greenhouse, sure up the education building for our classrooms. Because the other idea was, well, why don't we just build this all classrooms? Because that's where we earn our money. But we like the idea of doing the education building, shoring that up, keeping the school over there, this side being more of the public use space. So again, there's no ask, there's not going to be a budget item for this in the spring, but we just want to keep you updated because eventually we will come and say, please participate. Thank you so much. But we want to tee up and no surprises. That's what I've been told. Yes.
Is the end of the building that's to the right of the slide, is that facing west? Is that in the nature, the visitor center is behind the greenhouse? Is that the orientation of this picture?
Yeah, you're looking at it from like the trails side. So the parking lot's just on the other. So that building is south facing. That towards the parking lot is south facing, and then goes north south east west the long way.
Yellow building behind it is
That's the visitor
current
center,
visitor center
on the left. Yeah. So the idea is to block the parking lot side and then open up all the glass to the nature side and block the cars.
Isn't there like
It's
a little pond there with rocks and stuff like that?
They're
and a
just
big
off
tree?
the screen. There's 2 memorial ponds we are not planning on removing.
Okay, great, thanks.
It's exactly where the existing 1982 greenhouse is.
Yeah. And so I came a couple of years ago, we did an assessment on renovating the greenhouse to make it a usable greenhouse. And our price, I don't know if you remember this, but our price tag was like $1 million to retrofit it. And we just said, that does not make any sense. Deanna actually brought that up. She said, why would you do that? That's a lot of money for a greenhouse. And we said, yeah, let's reassess this. So building the smaller greenhouse up where the old greenhouses were, shoring up the education building for our summer camp preschool. And this would shore up every other program need we have. So that's where it all came out of a strategic plan. And we're going to be going out for a capital campaign shortly. So that's the next step, is forming that committee, doing a feasibility study. Yeah, please.
About how big is that building and will there be kitchen in it?
There is this version has I don't know what they called it. It's not a full like catering kitchen, but
A plating kitchen.
Yeah.
yeah, and this again is a very preliminary version of it. But yes, there's some sort of kitchen. There's that little window, see the little black window? That's like a serving window. I don't know.
Would that be rentable?
Yeah, it would be rentable.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say is what we do now is not any nonprofit in town can use our Sturgis room. I don't charge them. Just as if it's sitting there and I live there, so all I have to do is go over, unlock the door, and I do that. Certainly town functions as a town-owned building. I don't think we need to charge rent for you all. So yeah, the idea is for it to be a community space, but if
Yeah.
Well, so
A summer wedding.
people have brought that up, and that would certainly be a consideration, but you know, that goes up a level of what the use is and neighbors, and you know, we would probably propose that maybe a limited number, and we pick a number that we could do and then leave it at that. But again, we're not quite there yet, but good. I like where all your heads are. You guys are really thinking about the uses. So,
All right. Any other questions, comments? Thank you, Bill. That was awesome. Really
Right.
appreciate it.
and please, like, just reach out, email. I really think when you see this in person, it makes a lot more sense. So please come by. I'd be very happy to do it. And I don't sit in my office, and I like that. So that was good.
I don't think this is on the tablet. Did we get the presentation? You didn't.
Yeah, if it's not, we'll make sure.
Yeah.
All right.
The presentation itself, you would like?
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I really encourage, especially the new members, if you haven't done a walkabout with Bill, it's really good. I went when I first started. I would be happy to go again and see everything again. So we'll arrange something like that. It's really great. The property is much bigger and much more expansive than I had originally thought. And I think I came before the Green Link was done between Nature Center and, anyway, it's a really helpful, at least for me, to
I
visualize.
think it's a road trip.
It was great.
My thought was, especially there's this, I've got a Board of Finance next year or next month. Maybe I just set a couple dates in the spring and just sort of invite everybody. And if I get
Great
6
idea.
people, great. I did this for Parks and Rec, and I had about 5. I do a presentation for them every year about February. And so we did that after 5 people came and they got a better sense. So we'll coordinate and figure out something. And yeah, this I think will make a lot more sense because what's the education building, Herb Cottage, you know.
Thank you.
Thanks all.
Okay, moving on to agenda item number 6, appointments, approval of the following appointments. Board of Finance to confirm the appointments of Todd Lavieri and James Yao as regular members for a term ending November 15th, 2029. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Hillary and Maria, you second? Okay. Discussion? Okay, move to vote. All in favor? The motion passes unanimously. Agenda item number 7 is committee reports. Does anyone have anything they want to flag right now? Anything, Maria?
Just that I emailed everyone a link to the Board of Finance presentation from the Board of Ed. So there's a discussion about enrollment and just that it's a very preliminary discussion, and I think everyone should watch it.
Awesome.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Affordable housing. We had a meeting of our site subcommittee. We had a presentation from Amenta Emma, who is doing it's going to draw up 2 plans for the 3 sites that we asked them to look at to see about building some affordable housing on town land. It was a really productive conversation, also online. So if anybody's interested in seeing those consultants, architects, they worked on Canaan Parish for us. It's a really informative meeting, and we have a tight timeline as well. We're looking at plans in late spring. So follow along.
Awesome. That's a great update. Jennifer, and then Kim.
But just, I think a nice little update from Parks and Rec, they're setting or they're proposing, they voted on their proposed fees for membership for the different things like Kiwanis and the pool and paddle and pickle. And I think it was Melanie Hearn who proposed, and it was unanimously agreed that they're going to present to the Board of Selectmen, but that, okay. Oh, so that veterans now will get the discount that seniors do. So I think that's a nice.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Excellent. It's fantastic. Kim.
Sure. Health and Human Services. I just want to highlight that there's a holiday gift drive going on that you can donate on the website. They're trying to raise $100 for 85 children to get Christmas gifts. So anyone can go online and click on that. And then I also want to just mention that they're doing their budget now, or they're looking at preliminary budget figures. They are offsetting a lot of the budget with opioid settlement money and grants from the Department of Transportation for things like Get About. And they're going to continue to talk about that. And also the Silver Hill Assessment Program, they're going to get some numbers to see how much that's being used by town members. So they're starting to think about these things. So it's important.
That's awesome. That's
Thank
an excellent
Something else-
update.
Oh, sorry. Hang on.
Janet.
Just in addition to that, the Human Services is doing the senior gift baskets, which is always great. So I don't know how many baskets are involved, but they deliver baskets to the seniors, and it's just,
Yeah.
it's really nice.
And anyone that wants to deliver, Janet, you and I could do it if we're still on health and, but I did it a couple of years, and it's actually really fun to go out and, deliver this to
Yeah.
seniors.
Christina has it.
Oh, Christina.
I just had a question. Is there a number that you have for the contribution from the town to Silver Hill for the assessment program?
I don't have that number with me now, but I know that a couple of other towns became part of the program, but I don't know what the number is right now. It will be coming.
It's lower than it was. They started to assess the insurance, so the requirements were reduced, and then the addition of additional communities in it. So I have it in the office. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it's not expected to increase.
Yeah.
We use opioid settlement money to offset some of that.
One of the questions that they discussed, I'll just bring it up briefly, was that they originally got a contribution from the town of like over 200,000 to start the program. And then the community foundation was going to, be part of that. So the question is when do we keep contributing, or do we start to walk away? And in what way does that all keep that program going? And so that's being looked at now.
Okay, will there be a presentation from Silver Hill during the budget process if there any money is allocated to them?
They have a Behavioral Health Alliance, and they present about once a month. That group, which is about 40 people, get together and Silver Hill presents. And then Marcy Rand then puts it in her budget as a recommendation as part of all of the contracts that she.
Sure. If the town council wanted to get a presentation from Silver Hill, and it's in their interest to socialize what's going on down there. So
Yeah.
we can, we can arrange that.
Yeah, I mean, there's the urgent assessment program, there's Get About, there's New Canaan Cares, and the Domestic Violence Consortium. So those are the areas that they're contributing to. So, I mean, if you wanted to hear from them, I guess that would be possible. So.
Every single commission meeting obviously is videotaped, and so when there's presentations, you can always review them on your own. It gives you a lot of background.
Okay, thank you. The only thing I have on public safety is if you haven't read Chief DeFederico's op-ed in the Canaanite, it was really fantastic. I mean, really the love, the joy that he has for this town and his position in this town just like emanated, right off my screen when I read it. So I really, it's really fantastic, and I really commend it to your attention. With that said, let's move to executive session, agenda item number 8. So I'm going to get a motion I'll make the motion to approve entering into executive session as follows. Pursuant to Connecticut General Statute, Section 1-200, subsection 6D, for discussion of the lease of real estate by the town when publicity regarding such lease would adversely impact the price of such lease. Jennifer seconds, all in favor of moving to executive session. And we will invite the first selectman and Tucker Murphy. And everyone else get out.
We have to leave?
Oh, okay.
Oh, we can't
Right,
even
right.
sit in the audience?
And not like normal meetings, this is an executive session, so you
Okay.
Yeah.